What makes America once again hold its head high before the whole world? Today, we uncover the real story behind the world's most influential fighter, the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. Recently, the Lockheed Martin Corporation delivered the first F-35A to the Belgian Air Force. To date, approximately 1,000 F-35s have been exported, present in 17 countries worldwide, becoming the best-selling American aircraft after the F-16. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will analyze who the customers of the F-35 are and why the F-35 sells so well. In fact, from the very beginning of the F-35 project, many countries' defense ministries expressed interest in this aircraft and wished to participate in the project. Although the U.S. is the main customer and the main financier of the project, the U.K., Italy, the Netherlands, Canada, Turkey, Australia, Norway, and Denmark also invested $3.45 billion in the development plan of the F-35. The total development cost of the F-35 reached $40 billion. Except for Australia, these countries are all NATO members, so NATO knew that the F-35 would be used to strengthen the alliance's joint combat system. Therefore, this aircraft is also called the Joint Strike Fighter. When the F-35 was launched, the first customer was, of course, the U.S., the largest investor in the F-35 development program. Other countries, depending on their investment level, were given priority in purchasing the F-35. Among them, the UK, with an investment of approximately $2.5 billion, led compared to other shareholders, becoming the only Tier 1 cooperation partner of the F-35. Tier 2 partners include Italy and the Netherlands, with investments of $1 billion and $800 million, respectively. The remaining shareholders are third-tier partners, including Turkey, Australia, Canada, Denmark, and Norway, each investing approximately $100 million. However, one country faced problems in 2018 when the U.S. removed it from the third-tier partnership. We will discuss this later. Now let's take a look at how many F-35s the shareholders have acquired. In April 2010, the U.S., with its strong financial resources, announced that it would spend $323 billion to purchase 2,443 F-35s. This was one of the most expensive and ambitious defense plans in U.S. history. However, in September of the same year, the Pentagon received scrutiny from the Senate Appropriations Committee. The Senate criticized the F-35 plan for lacking proper oversight and urged the Pentagon to adjust the budget. Otherwise, they would consider canceling the entire procurement plan. This threat caused the Pentagon considerable worry. So 3 months later, the then U.S. Secretary of Defense, Robert Gates, announced that the Department of Defense would reduce the number of F-35s purchased within 2 years. No one expected that this reduction would be so severe. In the Department of Defense's $300 billion plan, they initially intended to purchase 14 F-35Bs were ordered in 2012, but in reality, only 6 were purchased. And in the following 5 years, the number of F-35s purchased did not exceed 50. This situation, in my estimation, may be due to several reasons. First, the U.S. is the developer of the F-35, so they needed to buy a little more to encourage their allies to buy as well. If the U.S. itself doesn't buy many of the aircraft it produces, who would dare to follow suit? Therefore, the Department of Defense's $300 billion plan was more like a marketing strategy for the F-35 than a real procurement plan. After the F-35 procurement plan was blocked by Congress in the following years, the Department of Defense continuously argued with the Budget Committee, and the price of the F-35 continuously decreased from $120 million in 2010 to $77.9 million in 2020, equivalent to a 36% reduction. Currently, Lockheed Martin has delivered a total of 442 F-35s to the U.S. Air Force, including 302 F-35As, 114 F-35Bs, and 26 F-35Cs, making the U.S. the largest customer of the the F-35. Besides the US, the UK is a Tier 1 partner of the F-35, but in the first 5 years after the F-35's launch, the UK seemed quite dissatisfied with this aircraft, even almost canceling the F-35 procurement plan. When the F-35 was launched in 2010, the US announced that it would sell the F-35. They will sell the F-35 to their allies, but will not provide the aircraft's source code. This means that if other countries buy the F-35 in the future, if they need software upgrades or hardware updates, they will have to send the aircraft back to the US. This makes the stakeholders in the F-35 project particularly concerned. The UK was very dissatisfied and even declared that if the US did not change this policy, they would cancel the plan to buy the F-35. Although they said this, in reality, they had already invested $3.5 billion in the project, and the F-35 was the most advanced fifth-generation aircraft at that time. Purchasing the F-35 was a necessary option to strengthen the UK's Air Force. Therefore, in 2006, the UK and the US signed an agreement allowing the UK to receive the source code of the F-35 system software and also have the ability to operate independently. This means that the UK's F-35s will use a proprietary operating system of the British military. Currently, the exact number of F-35s delivered to the UK is still unclear, but in 2021, the Royal Navy announced that by around 2025, they would possess 74 F-35s and form 2 to 3 squadrons on aircraft carriers. Therefore, currently, the number of F-35s that the UK has equipped is probably around 60. With the leadership of the UK and the US, other shareholders in the F-35 project also became more enthusiastic about purchasing these aircraft. Among the Tier 2 partners, Italy and the Netherlands, due to their relatively stable national security budgets, each ordered approximately 60 F-35 fighter jets. At present, Italy has received 23 aircraft, while the Netherlands has received 24. Among the third-tier partners, Canada stands out with an order of 88 F-35A aircraft, a customized version specifically designated for Canada and officially referred to as the CF-35. Australia follows with an order of 50 F-35A aircraft, with an additional 22 aircraft still awaiting delivery. Denmark and Norway together account for a total of 40 F-35 aircraft. Notably, Norway has chosen to keep 10 of its F-35s stationed in the United States, facilitating joint training programs between the two countries. At this point, we can return to the unresolved issue mentioned earlier. Turkey was originally one of the shareholders in the F-35 program. In 2007, Turkey planned to spend $110 billion to purchase 116 F-35 fighter jets. If completed, this plan would have significantly enhanced Turkey's air power and positioned it as a dominant force in Eastern Europe and the Balkan region. However, in 2018, Turkey made a strategic decision to purchase the Russian-made S-400 air defense missile system. This decision raised serious concerns in the United States. Washington feared that close military cooperation between Turkey and Russia could lead to the leakage of sensitive F-35 technologies to Moscow. As a result, in August of that year, U.S. President Donald Trump signed legislation suspending the delivery of F-35 aircraft to Turkey until Ankara could demonstrate that it would abandon the S-400 system. Contrary to U.S. expectations, Turkey did not reverse its decision. Instead, the Turkish leadership reaffirmed its cooperation with Russia and even announced plans to jointly develop the S-500 air defense system. This move severely strained relations between Turkey and the United States. Ultimately, Turkey was formally removed from the F-35 production and procurement program. This decision marked the first time a partner nation was expelled from the project after having already invested in its development. From this episode, it becomes clear that participation in the F-35 program is not solely a matter of financial contribution or military need, but also one of political alignment and strategic trust. We can now observe that, aside from Turkey and the United Kingdom, most other countries operating the F-35 use the original United States operating system. This means their air forces are deeply integrated into the US-led Joint Combat Framework. As a result, pilot training, mission planning, and battlefield data sharing can be conducted seamlessly alongside the U.S. Air Force. For countries with relatively limited defense capabilities, this structure provides a significant advantage. Instead of developing independent systems from the ground up, they are able to rapidly enhance their air combat effectiveness by aligning with an established network. Within NATO operations, the use of a common operating system also improves coordination, reduces technical friction, and enables real-time interoperability across multiple platforms and national forces. Beyond the original shareholders, many additional countries expressed interest in acquiring the F-35 after witnessing its performance. These nations did not participate in the development phase and are therefore classified as export customers. Among them, Israel and Singapore represent two distinct cases. Israel, in particular, faces continuous security pressure due to its regional environment. In 2006, Israel announced plans to purchase 100 F-35 aircraft to replace its aging F-16 fleet. As of July 2023, Israel operates 39 F-35I fighters. The F-35I is a customized variant tailored specifically to Israeli requirements. Although based on the F-35A platform, it incorporates Israeli-developed electronic warfare systems, radar components, and countermeasure technologies. Additionally, external electronic jamming pods were integrated to enhance survivability in high-threat environments. Israel also converted the standard single-seat configuration into a two-seat variant, allowing a second operator to manage complex software and mission systems. This decision reflects Israel's assessment that stealth advantages may diminish over time, making electronic warfare increasingly critical. Singapore, by contrast, faces far less immediate military pressure. Nevertheless, it has ordered 12 F-35 aircraft from Lockheed Martin and is expected to receive the first 4 units in 2026. This acquisition signals a long-term strategic commitment to advanced air power and close defense cooperation with the United States. Beyond Israel and Singapore, there are several other countries that have chosen to acquire the F-35 purely as export customers. These nations include Belgium, Finland, Germany, Japan, Poland, South Korea, and Switzerland. All of them have signed procurement contracts with Lockheed Martin, although full delivery of their aircraft is expected to take many years, and in some cases, more than a decade. Among these countries, Japan and South Korea were among the earliest export customers to receive operational F-35 squadrons. Japan, facing increasing security challenges in the Asia-Pacific region, has integrated the F-35 as a core component of its future air defense strategy. South Korea, likewise, views the F-35 as a critical asset for maintaining deterrence on the Korean peninsula. Belgium has also recently received the first aircraft from its order, marking the beginning of its transition away from older fighter platforms. Finland, Germany, Poland, and Switzerland are following similar paths, using the F-35 to modernize their air forces while strengthening interoperability with NATO and the United States. As of today, the total number of F-35 aircraft delivered worldwide has exceeded 980 units. At the same time, the number of confirmed orders that have not yet been delivered exceeds 2,000 aircraft. Taken together, these figures make the F-35 the best-selling fifth-generation fighter jet in the world. This naturally raises an important question. What allowed the F-35 to achieve such extraordinary market success? To answer this, we must examine the alternatives that many countries considered before making their final decision. When the F-35 first entered the market, several nations hesitated between purchasing the F-35 and selecting the French Rafale fighter. From a purely technical perspective, the two aircraft appear relatively comparable. Both have a maximum speed of approximately Mach 1.8 and a combat radius exceeding 1,000 kilometers. In terms of weapons payload, the Rafale can even outperform the F-35 under certain configurations. Moreover, around 2007, the price of the Rafale was roughly half that of the F-35. Despite these factors, most countries ultimately chose the F-35. The decisive reason was not speed, range, or payload, but the defining characteristics of a fifth-generation fighter. The F-35's greatest strength lies in its advanced stealth capabilities. Against modern airborne fire control radars, the aircraft demonstrates exceptional low observable performance from most directions. weapons. This advantage fundamentally alters how air combat is conducted in contested environments. Beyond stealth alone, the F-35's true advantage lies in its ability to function as a fully integrated combat system. At the core of this capability is the AN/ASQ-239 electronic warfare suite, one of the most advanced integrated electronic warfare systems currently deployed on any fighter aircraft. This system combines electronic reconnaissance, electronic defense, and electronic attack into a single unified architecture. With a passive detection range reaching up to 480 kilometers, the F-35 can identify threats long before being detected itself. When enemy radar systems activate or attempt to lock onto the aircraft, the F-35's onboard software automatically analyzes the threat, selects appropriate countermeasures, and presents optimized defensive options directly on the pilot's helmet-mounted display. This level of automation significantly reduces pilot workload and shortens reaction time in high-intensity combat environments. However, the F-35's capabilities extend far beyond individual survivability. Each aircraft in an F-35 formation acts as a mobile information node. Data collected by one aircraft is instantly shared with all other F-35s in the network. At the same time, this information can be transmitted to other NATO platforms, including airborne early warning aircraft, ground-based air defense systems, naval units, and command centers. Through this networked architecture, the F-35 can perform multiple roles simultaneously. It can operate as a forward sensor, detecting and tracking enemy targets. It can act as a reconnaissance platform, providing real-time intelligence to ground and naval forces. It can also serve as a strike aircraft, engaging targets under infrared, radar, or network-based guidance. In this sense, the F-35 is not merely a fighter jet, but a central node in a broader combat ecosystem. As more NATO units are integrated into this system, the effectiveness of each individual F-35 increases exponentially. The aircraft's target acquisition capability improves with every additional sensor connected to the network. This collective intelligence allows allied forces to detect threats earlier, coordinate responses more efficiently, and execute joint operations with unprecedented precision. Because of this, the F-35 has become the most critical element within NATO's future joint combat doctrine. It enables a level of interoperability and information dominance that no previous fighter aircraft was able to achieve. For many countries, the decision to purchase the F-35 was therefore not solely about performance metrics, but about gaining access to this shared combat network. By adopting the F-35, they effectively plug their air forces into a US-led system that defines how modern air warfare will be fought in the decades ahead. Looking back at the entire journey of the F-35, one conclusion becomes unmistakably clear. This aircraft is not simply a fighter jet. It represents a fundamental shift in how modern military power is built and sustained. The F-35 is, above all, a strategy. It is the mechanism through which the United States connects with its allies, standardizes operational procedures, and establishes a shared framework for joint combat across national boundaries. Through common systems, shared data, and unified training pipelines, the F-35 transforms individual air forces into components of a single, coordinated force. Weapons alone, no matter how advanced, do not automatically create superiority. True superiority emerges only when technology is combined with people, alliances, and trust. The F-35 program demonstrates this principle clearly. Its value does not lie solely in stealth coatings, sensors, or software, but in the network of nations that operate it together. In the modern world, strength is no longer defined by the ability to stand alone. It is defined by the capacity to cooperate, integrate, and act collectively when it matters most. This is the most important lesson offered by the F-35. If you found this analysis helpful and valuable, please like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episodes. Your support is the motivation for me to continue bringing you even more in-depth analyses and strategic perspective. I'm Hai. Thank you sincerely for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Thank you, and goodbye.